I moved to LA with $500, no job. I literally slept on someone's floor for 3 months and later found out that she was scamming me. I was covering her rent. I was suffering from mental health very severely. My eating disorder was at an all-time high. I was having suicidal ideations. It was just not a good time. On top of that, I had kidneys full of kidney stones, which is kind of unheard of for a 31-year-old female. 7 years later, here I am with Melinda Jackson Public Relations. I've worked on Emmy campaigns and Grammy campaigns. I'm halfway to an EGOT now, which is wild now that I'm kind of pivoting to work mostly with female founders and positioning them as thought leaders. It's so fulfilling and so fun. You don't have to make 7 figures to be successful. You don't have to scale and sell to be successful. If you make $100 in profit, if you make $5 in profit, that's a fucking success. Hi friends, this is Unhinged Founder with Melinda Jackson. And this is Ollie. Ollie is here too. This is my doggy. He always sits in my lap, so he's here today. I have been so excited with how excited everybody else is about me launching a podcast. I've said for years I wanted to start one, and I was finally like, fuck it, let's go. So very messy action. I recorded a teaser last week. Went downstairs, watched Jeremy edit. Jeremy, my boyfriend, is the editor and the producer. And we posted it. We went live. We put it everywhere. And it's like, I got 30 freaking subscribers that night. And I was like, you guys are insane. You trust me. So I know 30 is not a lot, but look, I've worked with a lot of podcasts. That's pretty good for the first night. Anyway, so me and Ollie are here today, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what I'm going through right now as a founder and just tell you a little bit of my backstory. And then we'll get into, interviews in the next couple of episodes. But I'm very excited because on Thursday I'm hosting Raleigh Female Founder Happy Hour, which I'll tell you all about. But I'm going to be doing a confessional there, and we are going to be getting content from all the women, and we're going to compile it into a podcast episode. So stay tuned for that. I think the question is going to be, what's the worst business advice you've ever received? And that's always just the funniest. The responses that you get from there are freaking hilarious. So anyway, without further ado, Ollie and I are going to introduce me. So I'm Melinda Jackson. I'm based in Raleigh, North Carolina, if you don't already know me, and I'm the owner of Melinda Jackson Public Relations. So I started my PR journey in 2009. I moved to Los Angeles after I graduated from Campbell University. Go Camels. And I moved to LA with $500, no job. I had like 2 contacts. Like I didn't really know anybody. And I just hit the ground running. I literally slept on someone's floor for 3 months and later found out that she was scamming me. I was covering her rent, and it's kind of crazy because I was like crying to her all the time. I'm like, I'm poor. I'm trying so hard and I'm trying to get a job and no one's hiring and I don't know what to do. And she'd be like, it's okay. It's going to get better. And she would help me find a couple of part-time jobs. And then we found out that I was covering her rent, which was kind of wild. So moved out of there and just kept hustling, and it took me 1.5 years to get a full-time job in PR. And I was very fortunate to work in entertainment, so I got to do all the red carpets, all the award shows. I worked with so many celebrities and had so many amazing experiences, and truly it was like the perfect place to be in your 20s. But I switched jobs, and after 5 years I switched jobs and worked at my dream agency, and it was a nightmare. It was not a dream. It was just a bad situation. The agency is no longer in existence, and it's form that when I worked there, and the person I worked with is probably not even in PR anymore. But it was just a horrible time in my life. I was suffering from mental health very severely. My eating disorder was at an all-time high. I was having suicidal ideations. It was just not a good time. And all of that combined with the fact that you're working in PR, you're working 24/7, you're in Los Angeles, you're doing the coolest shit ever, but you hate your life. That was really, really hard for me. So it was a mutual decision for me to leave. My boss hated me. I hated her. I had been going to HR like every day saying, this is not working. This is not working. Please help me. Please help me. So they were like, come back in a few months. We'll try to place you in another department. And I said, I'm good. I'm moving back to North Carolina. So a month later, I moved back to North Carolina. So that was 9 years ago, as of last weekend. And I got a job at an advertising agency here in Raleigh, and I was our PR and social media director. And generally, advertising agencies don't have in-house PR, and I don't know anything about advertising. I don't like. I'm a publicist. We don't do pay to play. We don't do ads. We don't do any of that stuff. We do storytelling, and so we were just butting heads all the time. And once again, my mental health got really bad, and I don't think I ever truly got out of burnout. And if you don't get out of it, it'll keep coming back. So once again, I was having suicidal ideations. Eating disorder was crazy. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. It was just not a good place. And on top of that, I had kidneys full of kidney stones, which is kind of unheard of for a 31-year-old female with like no other health conditions. So I quit that job. And when I quit, I had 2 freelance clients, and that gave me the confidence that I could, do something to hold myself over until I found another job. So that day I called my dad and I was like, I quit my job. I have 2 clients. They'll cover my bills, but I'm just going to figure it out. And he said that I needed to break my lease and that I need to move in with my parents, 45 minutes from Raleigh, and do that until I found a job. And I was like, just trust me. I'm not going to do that. I got this. Once again, like going against my parents' wishes, just like I did when I moved to LA, which I don't think I said that. They cut me off completely when I moved to LA. They did not want me to go, but I did. And I defied them once again. I quit my job. I did my own thing. And 7 years later, here I am with Melinda Jackson Public Relations. And it's been so fulfilling having my own company and working for myself. My schedule is flexible. I can keep all the money, that I make besides what I have to pay to the government. And I have been able to bring on a ton of really amazing paid interns that I've then kind of sent off and watched go and work at huge agencies that I could probably never even get hired at. But just these amazing people that have been a part of my life through this journey. And I've worked with so many amazing clients, and I've worked on Emmy campaigns and Grammy campaigns, and I'm halfway to an EGOT now, which is wild. But I love what I do, and I know that this is what I was put on this earth to do, and it's my gift from God that I'm able to help people. So I really see PR as me. CPR, oh my God. PR to me is really just being a cheerleader for people. And it's funny that I say that because I was a cheerleader for 12 years and I cheered in college, and I coached, but I am able to go out there and advocate for people and tell their stories when they might not feel worthy enough to tell it. I can see immediately what needs to be done, and I can kind of make those connections and make community connections happen, and cross partnerships and influencer relations and things like that. And I get to help people grow their business through that lens, and it's really fulfilling, and I love what I do. And especially now that I'm kind of pivoting to work mostly with female founders and positioning them as thought leaders, it's so fulfilling and so fun for me. And I'm so glad that I kind of defied my parents and rejected this life that they had built for me and my brother. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to do this. And I love every minute of it. But when I started my company, I didn't really know what I was doing. I only had really the confidence that I had experience in PR at that point. I'd been in PR for almost 10 years, and I had seen my parents grow businesses, and I'd moved to LA with no money. So I just figured I could figure it out and make it work. And the issue with that is I did make it work, but I didn't put like processes and structure in place. I do have loose structure, but I don't really have the safety scaffolding that I feel like I should have. So this year for me has really been about figuring all of that out and putting it in place retroactively so I can grow and scale. For so long, I always said, I don't want to have a big agency. I hated big agency life. I don't want to have a big agency. I'd rather have a small team. But then it scares me to have a team because I am terrified to be in charge of someone's livelihood. I am so scared that I am going to lose it all and I'm going to fuck up someone's life. But 7 years in, I haven't lost it all. I've went through a pandemic, multiple, presidential like administrations, and it's been okay. And my income for 7 years has been almost exactly the same to the dollar. So one, I need to scale. But two, I'm okay, and I can grow, and I can help people, be it paid internships, part-time help from freelancers, things like that. I can do it in a way where everyone's comfortable and everyone wins. So that's where I'm at right now. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I've always said I don't want to have an office. I don't need to have an office. I have co-working spaces, and my team can come and work with me, or we can work virtually. I have a team member that's in California. They can't come into the office, but I don't know what it's going to look like. But I know that I have to grow, and that's okay. It's okay not to know what it looks like, or it's going to look like. It's okay not to have it psycho planned, because everything else in my life is psycho planned. So it's funny that this is not. This is the one thing that I'm not. If you ask me to plan a trip, I am scheduling that shit within an inch of our lives. Okay. I am going to be so psycho and so militant about it. But with my business, I'm not. And I think a lot of that is because PR, you have to be flexible. Like when I sign a client, I will give them a scope of work, but we are not married to it. And I always say that this is going to be kind of a guide, but we're not married to it, because things change all the time and you have to be quick on your feet and you have to pivot. So I think that's kind of why I'm like this with my business, but also there's just a lot of fear there and a lot of like, I don't know, we'll figure it out, So we are figuring it out, and we are going to scale, because my short-term and long-term goals are to scale my business enough so that I have extra income, so then I can then have investment properties. And I really want to do that. It's something my parents do, but I want to do short-term rentals that I can also stay in. So have a vacation house and then also rent it out and make some money from it. And then I also would love to get to a place where I can be an angel investor and support female founded brands, because it's something I'm very, very passionate about. You'll see that I'm wearing, if you're watching this, you'll see that I'm wearing a Mom Juice investor hat. This is my first foray into investing. And baby, when I tell you I invested the tiniest amount, I did not invest the least, but I did not invest the most. But for me, I just really wanted to support an amazing female founded, female owned brand that I actually really liked. And I know the founders personally. They're amazing women. And I've just watched them scale this business and all of their wins. They are served on American Airlines. They are sold in Target and all these other amazing stores. And I wanted to be a part of it. So I invested approximately 2 cents to them. And, I can't wait to be able to invest more one day, especially in their brand and other brands. So that's kind of where I'm at. And again, I don't know what all this looks like, and that's okay. Everyone's success and everyone's roadmap is completely different. And one thing I always try to tell people that I'm mentoring, or when I do speaking engagements and things like that, is let's get out of our heads that we have to make 7 figures as female founders. We've all seen those clickbait stories of, I did this sales funnel, or I did this marketing funnel, or whatever, and I scaled to 7 figures in 3 months. I literally got a sponsored post on Instagram that said that yesterday. And I was just like, this is fucking bullshit. Also, let's stop with the fucking ads like that. Like, the girl bosses have to calm down with these Instagram sponsored posts. I mean, good Lord, honey. If it's good content, it's good content and people will see it. Stop throwing your money into it. Also, stop targeting me with that shit. I don't care. But anyway, you don't have to make 7 figures to be successful. You don't have to scale and sell to be successful, okay? If you make $100 in profit, if you make $5 in profit, that's a fucking success, Celebrate your wins more. I know I am not good at that, so I'm preaching to the choir here, but celebrate your freaking wins. So one of my wins today is I had a client that it was just a project, a 1-month project, which I do from time to time, just so we can get comfortable with each other. And they were introducing a product into the United States. They are based in another country. And I was like not happy about how the first month went. Not because of them. It was just I was not getting what I wanted from the media on this. And I got on a call with them today, and I knew it was just like the goodbye call. And so I went into it saying like, look, I have a 100% open rate, but 6% response rate. When I can see all my other clients that have like these really, really strong stories, they're getting 100% open rate, but they're getting 20 to 30% response rate. So I don't know what's working here. And I think it's because we did the product and not the founder story or some like more beefed up angles here. So we just talked it out for like 30 minutes. And again, I go into this call thinking, I'm losing this business. Like I'm going to have to replace this money. And they were like, let's just try another month. Let's pivot. Let's try another month. By the end, like we were all so excited about the plan that we've come up with for this next month. And that's really fucking exciting because I think a year ago, 6 years ago, I would have been a fucking mess today knowing that I had to go into that call. But at this point in my life, I am at such peace, and I know that I'm putting the work in and that God and the universe are going to take care of me, and that, as woo-woo as it sounds, everything I want right now is circling me, and I truly feel that in my bones, even though the world's on fire, even though like the economy is all over the place and there's wars and it's the world is just fucking hard right now. I truly know that everything I want is circling me because I'm putting good out into the world. I'm helping people and I'm working on my fucking self, you know? I've been working really, really hard on my lack mentality lately. And I know when you do that, you're going to be abundant. And I'm trying so hard, y'all. I'm trying so hard to reverse the money stories that I was taught growing up. I think in the South, a lot of us are taught, like, don't talk about money. Don't be in debt. Debt is bad. Don't put anything on a credit card. You know, just be afraid of money. And we don't like people that have money. So I'm trying to reverse a lot of that stuff because I realize it does hinder me as a business owner, and I devalue myself a lot. I should be charging a lot more than I charge. But at the end of the day, I want to help people. And so you have to find that balance of being able to help people, but also charging your worth and being able to take care of yourself. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get to a point where I am seeing a lot more income come in and have a lot more higher level clients, and then grow my team so then we can have a whole range of clients. And I don't think I want full-time employees. And I don't know if I've said this yet, but I'm terrified of being in charge of someone's livelihood. I'm afraid that I'm going to fuck it up and make it all go away for them. So full-time employees are terrifying to me, and I don't want that. But I don't mind if I have some freelancers, which I do have some great ones that I can pull from. But I want to have this wonderful team of people that are also able to work on their own things, but then help me out too. So like we're all helping each other, but like I want to give them a really good base with PR and really good experience and have really good case studies, but then let them go out and, you know, do their other passions that they might have. Because I also have things that I want to start working on. I am so knee deep into trying to figure out how to have a short-term rental right now. This weekend, I went to my friend's cabin in Western North Carolina with her and her colleague, and they both own a lot of short-term rental properties and investment properties. And we just drank wine and sat around the fire and talked. And all weekend we talked, and we did a really hard hike yesterday that I almost died on. And I love hiking so much, but it was hard. We talked, you know, basically for 24 hours straight about how could I make this work? How could I make it work if I didn't have anybody funding this? How could I make it work without a bank loan? How could I make it work if I did have a bank loan? You know, every single step in the process. And I'm so thankful that I was able to spend time with April and Christy that like really they have my wheels turning now, and they have me inspired, and I want to do that for other people, you know, and I want to be able to invest in people so then they can go in and invest in other things. And I want to be an angel investor one day. I want to be able to give Mom Juice more money than $3. I want to invest in other people, be it in PR like I'm doing now, monetarily, uh, whatever that looks like. I don't know. But I care so much about people, and I want to give them opportunities, you know. And so hopefully I can start growing my team soon, which I have some really great interns on my team right now. I have some freelancers that are really amazing. I am begging my friend to do business development for me so we can get some more clients in, so we can get this ball rolling. But I am inspired. I am fired the fuck up, and I'm ready to go. And I'm feeling my self-worth just grow and grow a little bit more every day with every win that I have. And I just love what I do. I love the life that I've set up for myself. And I want to get to a place where I can delegate and travel. Like, I want to travel more. I will never ever be hands off with my business. I know that. I still want to be the person that's pitching all day, every day, but I do need to give things to my team. And I want to be in the position where, I'm in Portugal or Spain and I have to do a Zoom with the team to meet. And I'm like, okay, guys, great job. I'm going to go, drink some wine now. That's the dream. So hopefully we'll get there. But anyway, that's what I'm going through right now. And one hill that I'm going to die on, one complaint I'm going to have right now that's kind of messing up my flow is unsolicited advice. I know people mean well. And I hope to God I don't give unsolicited advice. I probably do, and I'm sure I do, because all I want to do is help people all the time. And I'm always saying, like, hey, you should try this. You should try that. Like, let me connect you with this person. But the unsolicited advice I have gotten lately, especially for my Raleigh Female Founder Happy Hour, which I'll tell you all about, I am just like, you don't know me. You've never been to the event. Why are you sending me a message on LinkedIn telling me how I need to do my free networking event? Calm the fuck down. Like, if there's one thing that's going to trigger me in life, it's unsolicited advice, because that tells me you don't think that I know what the fuck I'm doing. And baby, I don't like that. I tell you right now. But I have my Raleigh Female Founder Happy Hour. I started in April. I started it because I was just tired of going to like boring networking events. And I also hate this whole thing of you have to monetize everything. You don't fucking have to monetize everything. You don't. Okay, let's get off that. You don't have to make 7 figures. You don't have to scale and sell. You don't have to fucking monetize everything. So I was sick of paying an arm and a leg to go to networking meetings where I didn't actually meet anybody. And then I was sick of going to free networking events that were just boring as fuck, where I always say, where you just talk to an old lady that works at the bank. Like, I don't want that. So in April, I got on Threads, which I had like no followers on there. And I was like, are there any female founders in Raleigh that want to have a happy hour and connect and network? And I had like 150 likes and 31 comments. And I'm like, done. Let's fucking go. So I asked my co-working space if I could host an event there. And they said, yeah, sure. As long as it's open to all the members in the building, you can do what you want. Just let us know what you need. And I didn't even make an Eventbrite for it. I literally just put an RSVP. I didn't even put an RSVP link. I just made a calendar event on my fucking Calendly and let people sign up for it. And I sent out some emails about it. And a reporter from ABC 11 here in Raleigh said, hey, we want to come cover it. I said, no, please don't. And she was like, why? It's a great story. And I'm like, no, please don't. And she's like, are you sure? And then I sat on it and I was like, I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to show up. And I'm like, okay, you can come. You can come. If nobody shows up, just don't show it. Just don't run it. But if people show up, let's go. So a camera crew came over, and sure enough, I had 50 people RSVP, and like probably 35 people attended the first one. And a lot of these women got to be on the news, which was crazy. And it's just been growing ever since. In this last event, we had 92 RSVPs, and I think probably about 50 or 60 people came. But it's a free event. I've just started doing sponsorships, and I'm not even making money off of it. Like, I was doing everything out of pocket, and I was going to Costco and spending $150 to $200 every time. And people started saying, can we sponsor it? We don't want you to have to, spend your own money. And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't even ask, they asked me. And so the next couple ones are going to be sponsored, and that's really good. And I just love that we've built this community of women that can just show up at a random co-working space in downtown Raleigh and drink wine and eat cheese and make friends. It's so loud in there. I always say we drink wine and scream at each other because it gets so loud because everyone's talking. And my boyfriend, Jeremy, shout out again, he DJs for us. And I always give a space for women to pop up, their businesses and organizations to pop up and tell a little bit about what they do or sell their goods. And I don't do any programming, and I don't want to do any programming. Or at least at the happy hour, I do want to start implementing more activities and more programming and have opportunities for people who maybe can't come on a Thursday night to downtown Raleigh. But even trying that, no one's signing up for the things that I was trying to do. So I'm like, oh, fuck it. And then I have people on the volunteer list, but we're all so busy, we can't get together. And I'm like, it's not for lack of trying, but it'll come together. It's already coming together. Once again, it's messy action. Things don't have to be buttoned up to be successful. And I'm really, really proud of what I've built and the momentum that's coming from that. I mean, I have stickers, y'all. It's cool. I bought hats. I got merch. I'm trying to launch a merch store for Raleigh Female Founder Happy Hour. I can't get it all figured out yet. And it'll happen at some point. It's on the list. Also going to be doing a more intentional newsletter and showcasing local businesses and events and things like that. But once again, who has the fucking time? Not me. The only time I have truly is when I'm hosting virtual co-working or 3 times a week and for 1 hour. So once again, that's me hosting stuff, and I can only work for an hour because I'm on so many calls, which is great. And I'm so glad that people want to network with me and people are interested in becoming a client, or they want PR advice, or they want to learn about a VIP day or whatever. I'm so grateful for it. And I feel like everything is circling me, and so many people want to help me succeed, which is amazing, but I don't have time. I have no time for anything. And that's something I do want to talk about. Like this whole thing about being busy. Like, we convince ourselves the busier we are, the more money we're going to make. That is not fucking true. That is not fucking true. And it goes back to, if you're in it, you're not growing your business. Like, I'm supposed to go to New York 3 times in October, and I'm not getting paid for any of them. And then I had to sit there and think, okay, one of those trips I cannot go to because I'm going to be in Colorado helping with a retreat next week. Then I was planning on going to Nashville. Then I would have to turn right around and go to New York the next day. So I'm scrapping New York. And then today I just made a game time decision, I guess, and decided to scrap Nashville because I don't get home until 1 o'clock in the morning from Colorado, and I'd have to turn right around and fly out to Nashville at like 5 in the morning. And I can't do that. I can't do it. So this is where delegation comes in. This is where just like making those hard decisions that you don't have to show up to everything. You don't have to pack your schedule, especially if you're not making money from it. And it's okay to say no, but it's also okay to say yes to some things that maybe you just want to go to that you're not making money from, because God knows I do it. But at the end of the day, I have convinced myself the more hours I work, the more money I will make, or the more calls that I do, the more money I'll make. And that's not always the case. Especially with the hours I work, because if a client is paying me a retainer rate, I'm not making more money if I'm working 12 hours a day, if I'm working 2 hours a day. So calm the fuck down, Melinda. So that's kind of what's going on with me right now. So to summarize it all, you don't have to make 7 figures. You don't have to have a freaking sales funnel. Stop falling for the MLM coachy girlies that are doing suggested posts on Instagram. Don't give people unsolicited advice. And just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're making more money. So don't pack your schedule. Give yourself time to breathe. The more time you give yourself to breathe, the more creative you can be. That's when the magic happens. You have to step out of it. You have to zoom out of it. And I'm telling myself that right now. This weekend, whenever I went to the mountains, Jeremy said, do not take your laptop. I don't care what you do. Do not take your laptop. You will not work while you're there. Don't do it. I was like, okay. I took my iPad and I didn't touch it. I didn't even know the Wi-Fi password at the Airbnb. And look at all the beauty that came out of it. You know, I got to connect with these two amazing women that inspired me so much. And I need more things like that. And I'm excited to go to Colorado because I'm going to be speaking at a retreat. And even though I'm speaking at it and I'm teaching at it, I know I'm going to get just as much out of it as anybody else is. And I get to be in Colorado. I get to see the leaves change and be on top of a freaking mountain. And hopefully not get altitude sickness. So anyway, I love you. This has been a lot. I love you. Thank you for showing up. Hopefully you got something out of this. Like and subscribe. Go buy Mom Juice at Target or Total Wine or Harris Teeter or whatever. Go on their website, figure out where they sell it near you. And come to my Raleigh Female Founder Happy Hour this Thursday night if you want. Come to my virtual co-working if you want, 3 days a week. Just shoot me a message for any of those and I'll send you the links. And thank you guys. I love you. Thank you, Jeremy, for editing this. Ollie's asleep in my lap right now. I'll show you him again. Say bye-bye, Ollie. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys. That's all I got for you. She's unhinged. I'm a girl with a podcast. Like and subscribe to my podcast. It's unhinged. Dun, dun, dun.